Hi, everybody. Welcome to What You Need to Know headlines. And I am Sybil Wilkes. And welcome to the party to Myra J. How are you, comedian extraordinaire?
I am doing just fine.
Good, good. And our young social justice contributor, Kwyn. How are you?
I'm doing
Hello,
great.
Quinn.
How are you
Good.
guys?
Kwyn, I always introduce you as Kwyn. Do you want your full Kwyn Townsend Riley name? Do you want us to include that?
Oh, that's nice. No, it's okay. Just Queen. We on.
Okay.
It's okay. We keep it
and
Queen.
and she her and also this is also Stephen Hill Day, and we are awaiting him. We have a very special day ahead of us, so please strap in for the ride. This is going to be all of our information and communication empowerment, all that we normally cover, with a little bit of entertainment element that's taking it to another level. And if you've been watching us over the last few weeks, that you understand about Quinn's search for a good woman for her brother Cameron. And so we will have Cameron, and we also have a contestant in the dating games. Oh, scratching his eyebrows and just kind of looking very, hi, Stephen Hill.
What's up, Sybil Wilkes? What's up, Myra J? Quinn, what's happening?
Hello, Stephen Hill.
Greetings and salutations.
Greetings to you. Let's talk about what's going on right now, and let us start with get well wishes to our friend Lunell. Lunell has tested positive for SARS, another one of the viruses. Not COVID, but it is, she says it's close enough. And just this afternoon, she posted on her Instagram account, it's not 19, but it's too close for comfort. I don't want to put Ladybug nor Abilium at risk due to my diagnosis. Came out about 3 hours ago. I will not be doing her live show. And she's currently and will continue taking her vitamins and resting. She said she came home Sunday from New York, and she was not feeling well, and took to bed and took to her bed and stayed there until just a day or so ago when she went and got the test. And she said she's warning people, please keep washing your hands, wearing your mask. And sorry, for those of you that you thought you were getting back into the makeup business, and those making money that had lost money from lipsticks and what have you. Sorry, we're going to have to go back to the mask, and as has been suggested by the government, as a matter of fact. And she said she'll be doing lives later, and she just wants to say what up and be careful to all her lunatics.
Yeah. Best wishes, Lunell. Let's
Best
get
wishes
well.
indeed.
Get well.
Absolutely, absolutely. We have let's see. Yes. Yes. That's okay. That's okay. Stephen, insurrectionist of Love Hill. All right. Okay. We can touch on that at some point or another.
I'm sure we won't be the first.
Yes.
Today.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Michael Starworth. COVID is a part of the SARS family, also known as SARS-CoV-2. So you're absolutely right, and it's one of those viruses that we still have to be mindful of. In this day and age, you wouldn't be thinking that you would be getting SARS. I mean, that was so last year, last
Yeah,
day.
so
That was like
was
last decade, wasn't it?
Oh,
Like,
I
did she
was
get
going to say a few years
did she get
ago.
into the time
was-
machine and
I
head
know.
backwards? Did she-
That was so last disease ago.
Yeah, yeah. But here
Jesus.
we are, and it is brought back again, and so we wish her good luck with that. So please take note of what she says, and mask up and wash your nasty hands as often as you possibly can. Yesterday was a very big day in Congress as the House Select Committee held their first hearings on the insurrection, on January 6th insurrection, with the four powerful members of the law enforcement giving their testimonies as to how they were affected by this. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. But that was a day in which it really put Donald Trump on the map in terms of his party, his people, his Trumplicans, all of that. And so his name was constantly mentioned yesterday, but not in a good way. The second bad thing that happened to him on this day, was the fact that he had a candidate that he endorsed in a Texas election, and she did not win.
Yay!
And so it's starting to show maybe some cracks in the concrete there, in the bricks, whatever the border.
That's the hope.
It is the hope. And so his endorsed candidate in Texas' 6th congressional district was Republican Susan Wright. And she lost to fellow Republican. It was all Republicans because that's the district, most of Texas, but that is the district. And she lost to fellow Republican Jake Ellzey, and demonstrating the lengths of Donald Trump's endorsements, perhaps, even in a low turnout runoff. And maybe this is good news for George P. Bush, who is running against Trump candidate for Attorney General for the nomination in the Republican primary nomination. So whatever it's worth, starting to see some chinks in the armor, perhaps. And so we'll keep you up to date on that as these other endorsed candidates start to lose more. And lastly, Chuck Schumer says that the Senate could vote to advance the infrastructure bill tonight after reaching a major agreement. They could vote to advance the bipartisan infrastructure package tonight, and he said, after negotiators resolving the major outstanding issues on the roughly $1.2 trillion bill. He said, with respect to the infrastructure, senators continue to make good progress on both tracks of legislation, and the bipartisan package includes about $579 billion in new spending on traditional infrastructure projects, but they have been divided over how much funding should go to public transit, the highways, the bridges, what have you, water, broadband, and whether to use unspent COVID-19 money to help pay the bill. And so,
I think we're gonna need that COVID-19 money.
I do too. I do too.
I just got a feeling that we still may need that COVID-19 money. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Of these particular stories, anything ring with you? Whether you watched the hearing yesterday, I'm curious as to your reaction to some of the testimony you may have heard yesterday.
Well, you know what? We heard testimony, but for me, it was nothing new. You know, we know what it is. Now, I'm waiting for next steps. When is something going to be done? Period. Mm-hmm. Let's get to that point.
I think I'm hearing. Oh, go ahead.
Kwyn, go ahead, Kwyn.
I was gonna say, I think hearing from the officer Harry Dunn actually was a bit gut wrenching for me when he was able to regurgitate what the insurrectionist said to him, and I can't imagine being in that place of like fight or flight, and also just being in that place of like, this is my duty to be able to protect a man that ultimately did not protect me in terms of like being a Black man, being a person of, I don't know, just being an American citizen. It was, I don't know, it really just, it just revealed more so of the violence that took place at the Capitol, because I think we all saw the videos, but it really gave a bit more sensory detail to somebody that actually was there, and like my heart just
all of this.
Yeah.
I, for one, was shocked. I know Myra said she didn't hear anything new, but the fact that there were combat boot, bear spraying folks calling Black people the N-word. Like, I was stunned. Like, I was 100% stunned that would happen in America. Like, that's crazy to me. No, that look, I think that was the most disheartening thing. And what was more disheartening about them being called that was their reactions to it. Their reactions like, I'm here protecting everyone and people who represent everyone in the United States, and I am getting called the N-word repeatedly. Hey, give up that gun. We'll show you kind of N-word you are. I'm
and
like,
that's the statement that got to me. That's what got to me. That was
felt like I was in a Philadelphia Eagles game with a Redskins suit on.
That was the thing that got to me in terms of the when one of the policemen said what this woman said, or what the people said, give up the gun and we'll make you feel, how you are, N-word. That's the one that really affected me the most. I wasn't as surprised about the N-word, but the fact that he said that he had never been called that in uniform.
I'm sorry. That was me being facetious the entire time. I'm so sorry. I didn't sell it well. I didn't sell it well.
I got your facetiousness.
I bought it, Stevie. I bought it.
I got your facetiousness, but I just wanted to make the point that not so much in that I was like, you never been called the N-word? But then he said in his uniform, never as a law enforcement person.
Yeah.
That just really struck me. And I was thinking, because I know lots of people of all colors that probably have called you that, but not in that. So that's what really struck me. And I just, it was just a really interesting day. And the fact that these men are still going through it.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And this is 6 months later, and as I said in the newsletter, they were testifying as if this was the day after. This is how it so strongly affected them.
Remember, there's people in our military who have PTSD from being
that's what I was gonna say.
in that area, and they never get as close to the enemy as those brave officers did that day. And police officers in the military are trained completely different ways, right?
Yeah.
So police are trained for defense, military more for offense, but like to have to deal with all of them when you are outnumbered, that's PTSD for your ass.
Yeah.
And some of those officers have been in military, and they said never in their encounters in the military have they been affected like this. And so let's turn to what's really going on. And this is something that we talked about previously with in regards to our mental health wellness. July was the month of National Minority Mental Health Awareness. And it never has become so clear as we have with the Olympics and the young people that have been affected by this. And I wanted to get your takes on all of this from all of you, because certainly Simone Biles is now the new face of it. But before Simone Biles was Naomi Osaka. Before Naomi Osaka, there was Simone Manuel, who is a swimmer. And before Simone Manuel, I think she's a power lifter rather. But before that, there were these other Black women who, Olympians for sure, who have been affected by the power of the gravity of the situation, what's on their shoulders. And now they're coming out saying, I can't and I won't allow my mental health to deteriorate anymore. I have to stop. I have to take time away. I cannot participate. So I'm wondering from all of you your thoughts on this, and especially Kwyn, I want to start with you because you guys are in the same age range, and it's almost like for young people, you are making us notice, and for yourselves as well as for ourselves, how this affects you and what you need to do.
Yeah, I think this is definitely the month that Black women are saying we deserve rest. Like, Black women deserve rest. They deserve to take a break. And that should not be seen as a sign of weakness. That should not be a sign of giving up. That should be seen as a moment where Black women are putting themselves first, like, finally. And I'm so proud of Simone. I wish her like a glorious time to recharge and to refuel. And I want to let her know that she's seen as a human being, like, first, before she's seen as some Olympian and some like, gold medaling athlete. She's a human being. She's a woman. And humans are still humane. And I feel like oftentimes when it comes to celebrities and like athletes, we don't see them as these people. We just see them as these idols. So shout out to her. I'm going on vacation next week because people stress me out too. So
weren't you just on vacation?
I go on vacations all the time. See, I don't stress. I can't do stress. I have to go on vacation. I have to see my therapist. All that. Like, it's very prioritizing self-care.
Okay, good for self-care. Let's take a look at somebody who has another point of view. Travis Roughhouse, party bus roughing. All right, that's a lot to put on a business card. I said that during the event she quit. She was not injured. I didn't need help to see that. That is what a lot of people are saying. They're calling her a quitter. They
Why
say,
would you even do that?
I don't know. I don't understand. But they said before you got there, surely you, and this is just giving, the perspective of other people. Before you got there, why did you even go? Why didn't you drop out before? You can't.
Who are these people? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Are they athletes? I'm sorry. Who are these people?
Myra, what do you think?
First of all, I am very proud of Simone Biles. Let me say this. Athletes are very talented people. What they do going there for us to watch it is for our entertainment pleasure. It's not going to stop war. It's not going to cure
Right.
disease. It's not going to save lives. So technically, we haven't lost anything because this grown woman said, I need to stop for my own health. This woman said, I'm up doing some triple something in the air, and mentally, I don't know where I am. This woman could have fell on her freaking neck and been paralyzed. And then people would have said, well, if she was having mental problems, she should have just took a break. That's what she's doing, damn it. She's telling you, I am not well enough up here to get up here and go flying through like I got a damn cape on or some wings.
Right.
She has nothing else to prove. What else do you want her to do? Jump her ass up and never come down? What other feats do you want Simone Biles to do?
And how is it a personal affront to you as a person or as a country that she, she, come on, USA.
People are so entitled.
Has it been said? Has it been said anywhere specifically that she left because of her mental health? Was that?
She said it was a compilation. She said it was a compilation.
What other words that came out of her mouth?
She talked about it being a pandemic. She said that she's not having fun. There's no people in the crowds. And then she also said, like, I'm mentally, like, I'm not at my best.
She said physically, and she said mentally, I am not at my best.
Right.
She said, I have never felt the way I feel right now going into,
And Stephen Hill, you go ahead, because I want to add something after that.
So having, we all know a lot of athletes, and we know that we all know athletes who will, when they could go head over heels and break their necks, will do that thing to get the touchdown. When they may break their arm doing something, will do that because that will help the team or themselves to win. I think what we're missing here is that Simone Biles is one of the best athletes of all time, but she's also a team player. And the moment she realized that she could hold her team back by continuing to participate, that's the part I think we're skipping. Like, I mean, all about mental health, but like when you're an athlete, you do everything you can to have your team win. Right. And if you're a real true athlete and a true leader, sometimes that means you sit back for whatever reason that is. Like, so I'm not saying anything about whether it's mental health or physical or whatever it is, but we also saw Simone Biles make mistakes that Simone Biles doesn't make. Right. Mm-hmm. She just doesn't make those mistakes. Right. So while mental health is an element, true athletes like Simone Biles also understand when I'm holding the team back. Right? Who knows if Simone Biles had stayed in that and stayed in and gone, maybe the U.S. wouldn't have medaled at all. Shout out to Jordan Childs. Am I getting that right? Jordan Childs, who stepped in. Yeah. Look, when you lose one quarter of your team, the team and the sub comes in, you still get silver?
Yeah.
Come on.
What does that tell you?
Simone was looking out for her team and herself. Yeah. But don't take the team part out of it, because that screws with the way you figure how this works.
Steve, one of the other conversations that's been had is that this is a very new school move. As you say, she was doing for the team, but everybody points to what was it? Michael Jordan, having the flu, putting the team on his back and going, and finishing the game. Whether football players who have broken a shoulder and still go on and play the game. All of this
because they realized. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, it's only because they realized, look, Michael Jordan is not in that game with the flu. Chicago's not winning. Like, Chicago's not winning without Michael Jordan. When he has the flu, he could be in the grips of COVID-19 and still would be on that court, because without Michael Jordan, you don't win, right? Without certain players, regardless of how bad they are, you don't win. In a team sport like gymnastics, one person can set that whole thing off. One person can get you from gold to like 6th place. Yeah. Right? And so it's a little different.
It is different. And no, you were asking for the exact verbiage, and the 4-time Olympic gold medalist said, we have to protect our mind and our body rather than just go out there and do what the world wants us to do, Travis. This is the importance of it, because although this is a major part of her life and this is what got her there, God willing, there will be another 60, 80 years for her to go on, and for her to lose everything at this particular moment that it could affect the next 60 to 80 years. And think about this. This is what I wanted to bring up. This young woman was also the victim of sexual abuse by this horrible doctor, Larry Nasser. She is the only one, she's the only one that kept going of those Olympic medalists. None of the other are still in the run, in the game. She just kept going. And so you have to think of all of these things that have gone on and the horrific things that could be going through her mind. And when she made that move and she knew, she's like, nope, this is it. This is my time. I gotta hang it up for right now.
I was like, Simone Biles don't move like that. She don't move like that.
Yeah, and Steve, it was like you're up at 5 o'clock in the morning and you're watching it, and you know you're still a little sleepy, but you saw that wasn't her.
What'd you do?
That was not her.
She has such wisdom. She has such a beautiful spirit of discernment. Like I admire that.
Our friend Travis, thank you for giving us a different perspective on this. We're not going to put all your comments up here, but definitely, I want you to stand strong in your belief, but also I want us all to be open to the conversation.
Oh yeah,
we have our points of view. Travis, you and others have your point of view, and so I don't want you to stop from commenting. I don't want you to stop, coming here. But let's just think about, I used to say this to Jay all the time, to Jay Anthony Brown. I used to say, we can disagree without being disagreeable.
Yeah.
And initially he said, no, we can't. But I think we can, and I think we must. And so please let us still be open to the thoughts of others. Otherwise, we're going to end up like people in Washington, D.C.
Yes.
And you can't have a discussion. It's like you're right or you're wrong. There's no middle ground in order to come to some sort of discussion. So,
dude, if she had a physical injury, nobody would be saying a damn thing. There'd be no conversation around this. It's hilarious. There'd be no.
Mr. Party Bus Man.
No.
There will be no beating you up on the cruise. I promise.
No.
I promise.
Travis, nobody look and give any problems to Travis Ruffin on the cruise at all. Just
and Travis, it wouldn't hurt to pick up the tab at the bar.
As a matter of fact, we will now post a picture of Travis Ruffin so you know who to mix with.
And we'll have Simone send you a note of appreciation for your support. But also in terms of Simone and what she's going through now, also think about, as we just referenced a little while ago, these police officers, the law enforcement men who went before the hearing yesterday and talked about the fact that they are experiencing these things that they have never in their lives experienced, and it's still going on. To be squirted with bear urine, spray, whatever it was, from the bear, God only knows what it could have been. Human
porridge.
urine.
It was porridge.
It was porridge.
Jesus.
Whatever it was, and all of the things that they did to him, said to him. One of the, I think it was, is it Fancone? One of the policemen, he said, he was tased so many times, the man had a heart attack.
Yeah.
So all of these things, all of these experiences, and especially the people are going through today, and I'm not just counting what people have gone through and have said, just put on their shield and said, I'm pushing forward. I also think taking care of yourself is the best way to live a long and productive life, and maybe help some other people along the way.
And that's why those policemen were not in the Olympics. I understand that. I get that. I understand that.
You get that, Travis?
Oh golly. Okay, so now it's time for what you need to know. And that is our newsletter, our daily Monday through Friday newsletter, in which we invite people to subscribe. It is absolutely free. Please give us a look out. And we have everything that we try to include everything as it applies to Black people. This is something that learned from Tom Joyner. And please go to SybilWilkes.com as we try to super serve the African American community. We'd love to include you. As a part of this, every twice a week, young Kwyn comes in and she contributes as one of our social justice commentators and contributors, along with our young friend Coy Malone. And so, Kwyn, you're up today as we talk about your story, which is really interesting, not only as a Chicagoan, but as it affects other people as well around the country, because this isn't just specific to Chicago. But in the headline of your story, you say the Chicago organizers call for an end to the use of the artificial intelligence shot spotter. I thought that was just somebody who said, "Oh, they're buying shots over there." I didn't understand shot spotter. So tell us what that is.
Yeah, so ShotSpotter uses artificial intelligence to be able to detect the sound and location of guns. And so it's deployed in over 100 cities right now nationwide, primarily Black and brown neighborhoods. And in Chicago specifically, this system has been used as evidence by prosecutors to defend the murders of lots of Black and brown kids. Recently, the murder of Adam Toledo, who was a 13-year-old boy that was gunned down in the Chicago alley over in Pilsen. And so what a lot of law enforcement officers are doing, and there's evidence to prove this in a Vice article, some cops are able to manually go into the system, and what ShotSpotter would detect as a firework, they can override that and say it was a gunshot to be able to pretty much like uplift like their argument of saying that they did something correctly in terms of gunning down a child or gunning down somebody else that was innocent. And so Chicago organizers that are part of a current campaign to defund the Chicago Police Department have started a petition to gather signatures, because right now the contract between CPD and ShotSpotter is up. And if they give enough signatures, hopefully, prayerfully, the mayor pays attention to actually cancel that contract, because they put $10 million into this system every year. Whereas that every year, this is $10 million that could go to CPS to get better food, to get better books for kids. This is $10 million that can go into more mental health facilities. This is $10 million that can fund a whole bunch of different things, but we stay continuing different other tools that we should actually defund from. So, yeah.
Interesting in terms of how this works. And do you have any other information from other cities, or are we just are they having the same kind of success? Do you know?
In terms of success rates,
this wasn't meant to be a trick question or anything. I was just wondering if you just had some other anecdotal information.
No, we could talk about abolition, and we can talk about this the whole segment. Let's go. Listen, I will.
Well, maybe next week that'll be your story about abolition.
Okay. I just want to do a different future. That's honestly all. But yeah. So they said like average wise, like this technology gathers over 20,000 alerts, and about 80% of those alerts are actually no gun crime related. They're mostly detecting fireworks or some other sound. And so the fact that cops are still overriding that type of alert to produce something that can help them and not actually help the community is actually nauseating. And so when I saw this petition, I was like, gee, what? Like, why are we paying the cops to lie? Like, why is my money going to this? Like, there's so many other uses for my money. So that's what I was thinking.
I think it's really interesting. You're talking about police, and last week your story, if I'm not mistaken, was about the Illinois law that now prevents cops from lying. Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of that going on in there. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that it was legal for them to lie for so long.
Yeah, and it's the first state. Illinois is the first state to.
Illinois is the first state.
Do this, to change the rules there. Yeah.
Shout to JB.
Here's
yeah,
what's going to happen,
JB.
people. Here's what's going to happen, people.
What's going to happen?
Here's what's going to happen. We're in the early stages of AI. 5G hasn't gotten here yet, but as soon as AI gets better and 5G, it's all coming back. And what they're going to do is try to identify not just the shots that were fired, but who did them, because there'll be cameras everywhere. And in 5G, if you get yourself a driver's license, they will have your picture and compare it. Hey, anybody been in the country? Has anybody been in the country, gone out of the country and come back in? And if you have global entry, you used to like have the head. You don't even put your passport anymore. You literally look in the thing and take the picture of your face. And it's like, oh, no, you're Stephen Hill, and you live with, I'm like, God, you know me by my face.
Yeah.
So they have a picture of you. So my point is, and I'm an optimist, and right while now, for Toledo has been bad, for other folks it's been bad. As they refine this, as artificial intelligence is built to get better at whatever it does over time. That's how it's designed. It fails at first, right? So there was a whole thing about facial recognition of African Americans where they were completely off, much more than they were for white people. But over time, that's going to get better. ShotSpotter, by the way, which if I'd heard of it before, it would have been my rap name. I'll be honest with you. Completely would have been my rap name. It would have been rap name. ShotSpotter in the building, and I got the big. My point is, ShotSpotter will get better, and hopefully for us, what it will do is be able to get police to the scene of the crimes quicker, so that the community will understand they have less of a chance to get away with crimes. I'm an optimist. And so while it's going to have faults at first, it's going to have challenges at first.
Oh, hold on, Kwyn. Hey, let him.
The goal is to eventually get to a place where it does that thing. All right, I hear you, but everybody's lost. Everyone is lost fighting technology. Everyone, call it. Whoever,
well,
everyone's
they have lost, but they have also done things to people of color through AI that have been grossly unfair.
I mentioned that.
Okay, yeah. So I just want to.
Human error. That's human error, though. I want to be clear. That's human. It's human error, not the AI.
But it's the humans that put all of these together. Before AI gets to it, they have taken away the ability to be fair to us in terms of the coloring of people, in terms of all these other things.
The
AI is not what's making people bad. People are just looking for instruments to make themselves be bad.
I'm not talking about what's making them bad.
No. But my point is, policemen, to your point, have always been, we'll call it, not the best of the African American community. They now have a new tool to do that. As the tool gets better, they will be less able to do that. That's my point.
I have so many questions.
Go ahead.
So many questions. So first off, Stephen, you think people are inherently bad people?
Do I think people are inherently bad?
Mm-hmm.
Do I think they are? No, I don't think people are inherently bad.
Oh, okay, cool. So let's go ahead and go back to what you said about crime and investing in these things to reduce crime. Why are we investing in things to reduce crime that ultimately inflict more violence instead of things that actually try to holistically, so from the mental to the physical,
yes,
actually try to fix what is inherently in us? So we know that we're not inherently bad people. So if we know that we've been conditioned in these horrible environments where we don't have any food because of food deserts, where we don't have any hospitals because of environmental racism, let alone no parks, no trees. We know we don't have any libraries to actually educate ourselves. So why are we investing in cops when we could invest in like counselors?
And let's talk about.
I'm not saying don't invest in counselors. I want to be clear. No. I am not saying it's the right thing to invest in. I'm saying what AI is going to do. I'm not advocating for its investment. I'm not advocating for investing against anything else. I'm just talking about what AI is going to do. Okay. How AI is going to get better. That's it.
Okay.
Answered
all the questions with one statement, didn't I?
I can't say that you did. I can't say that you did. But
give me another one question.
No.
Scorpio.
Go ahead, Myra.
This is actually very, very scary because I understand what Stephen Hill is saying. So no, I honestly think I know, clutch the pearls. Because
Stephen Hill fell off his chair.
And I understand what he's saying. As technology gets better, that will get better. But I honestly feel like we need to do both. We can't police ourselves into a better society. That's just not going to happen.
But it
period.
works on the shy.
It was
Well, don't even get me started.
I was gonna say, like, transformative justice and restorative justice is not an overnight solution. It's not. We are too invested into carceral system and our own social misery for us to all of a sudden say, okay, no more police, no more capitalism, no more all these things. It's too much to uproot. So in order to take things at a time, we start by removing cops from high schools and elementary schools. We start by no longer investing into these surveillance programs. We start by actually investing more money into transformative justice counselors, to mental health facilities, to more trees on the south and west side where Black and brown folks are. Like, I know we can't police ourselves, but we can heal ourselves. I do know that we can nurture ourselves. Our people have always been very resourceful with what we have. We've never needed police. We've never needed cops. We've never needed these systems. Like, we never did.
No. I respectfully disagree, sister. Yes, we do need police. Period. Okay. Because some of us are bad, crazy people. Period.
Not necessarily crazy, but bad people.
Yes. However, yes, we do need a more holistic approach. But that's going to, as you said, that's going to take time. So if that's going to take 5-10 years to actually really turn things around, we just can't have people out here running willy-nilly because it's like, well, hey, because think about it. I'm a little older. What I have seen happen is just a pinch in neighborhoods. I grew up on 45th and Vincennes on the south side of Chicago. We see our neighborhoods change over the years, and there are many reasons for that: lack of resources, lack of education, healthcare, all of that. That's what takes place. But in the meantime, you can give me a counselor, you can give me a house. I still don't want to be robbed on my way to the parking lot tonight.
Yeah.
As I'm coming from my counselor. So yes, to me, we need there needs to be a balance, and we need both.
I know we need safety. I know that we need safety, and I'm sorry, Sybil, for like monopolizing.
No, that's okay.
I know that we need safety, and you're talking to another Black feminine woman that has suffered either at the hands of state-sanctioned violence, right? So the internalized racism, or getting robbed, or like I know people who have been on both sides of the gun. Like I know that. I'm from Southside Chicago too, Auburn, Gresham, South Shore, and now I stay in Roselawn for 95th and the Red Line. So I know this. And still, as an abolitionist, knowing that Chicago is one of the highest surveilled cities in the world, where we have the most highest paid Chicago Police Department, where a majority of the city's budget absorbs most of like Chicago Police Department salary, cars, all of these things. And we've been investing into this system longer than I was here, and like gun violence hasn't decreased, it hasn't stopped. I don't like trying the same thing over and over again. I'm for new solutions. And right now, I just see like, okay, I don't need police. Like, let's try something new. I wonder, in the schools that I grew up in, all we had was more metal detectors than we did have counselors. We had way more actual like programs that were talking about either like a social study or something, but we didn't have like a space where we could actually talk about our feelings and what we were witnessing as youth. And I think that is a key like radical concept to actually go ahead and ask the youth, like, how are you feeling? Let's go ahead and de-stress. Like mental health starts then, so that's how.
Let me just say that this is a conversation. I know Stephen Hill. This is a conversation that we may have to extend into another week. And I do want to hear you guys in the back and forth, and I love the difference of opinion and what have you. So I am going to encourage that. I also encourage people to take a look at the stories that we have in this week's news or today's newsletter, as well as we go through the week. And now I want us to take ourselves from this very it's a heavy week in terms of news and things that are going on, and bring about some lightness, some hope of new life and new relationships. And so I want to take folks back who do not know. This is going to be Sybil's own version of the dating game, if you will, or as I tried to tell Myra J, love connection, and went right over. And to you, Kwyn, I'm sure too. Stephen Hill, I'm hoping that you remember love connection. That's all I gotta say.
Well, I don't know, but I gotta go somewhere, and I'll be back in 2 and 2.
Thank you. I will love you forever for that. So a couple of weeks ago, young Kwyn was on vacation, and she brought
Again.
That's what I said.
That wasn't even like I had a performance. Okay, let's go to
Okay. So we assumed you were on vacation. We didn't know about the performance. And your brother, Cameron, was with you. And we were like, who's the dude? And so, you brought him on and folks got to see him and hear. And then you said, and if you know any good women, I'd like to introduce my brother, Cameron. I want him to meet a good woman. And so now here we are a couple weeks later. Do we still have that from the show? Okay. Last week. Yeah, can we play it? This is Cameron. This is what Kwyn had her list of requirements that she seeks for her brother.
You said one.
You have this list.
She brings out a scroll.
I take notes. I'm very for real. Like, this about to be my sister-in-law. Like, okay.
For real.
So she does have to be African American, and if she's not African American, her tongue has to be at least accustomed to saying Black Lives Matter and all Black Lives Matter. If she does not know a Stevie Wonder song, an Earth, Wind and Fire song, or even a Megan Thee Stallion song, we don't want her. Don't bring her on the show. She might as well stay back at home. Okay? If she does not know how to make macaroni and cheese in the oven.
Not the stovetop stuff. Okay.
Leave her back in the crib. If she doesn't know how to make a sweet potato pie, leave her back at the crib. Okay. If she has never worn braids, twists, okay, I'm talking about cornrows. Okay, I'm talking about little barrettes. Leave her back at the crib. Okay, we want somebody that knows how to twist some hair, some 4C texture. If she doesn't know what coconut oil or shea butter is, she gotta stay back at the crib. Lastly, I know he said he wants a God-fearing woman, and I do too. But
What, Lil Nas X's sister is all of a sudden in?
I don't want somebody that is overly, like religious and like that's going to condemn and that's homophobic. So they gotta, love.
So you want a drinking, cussing Christian?
I want somebody that's Black and that respects all Black people, and somebody that I can also.
All right. So that's Kwyn's requirements for her brother. This is for Cameron, and we're here to look for a good woman for Cameron. So, Cameron, let's invite Cameron in.
Yay.
Wait, Daniel Cameron? Oh, never mind. My bad. Oh, sorry. No, wrong. Never mind. That's true.
Yeah, we want brothers that like Black women. And so, Cameron.
Yes.
You are Kwyn's brother, and we met you a few weeks ago, and so you are our date, our bachelor right now. And how did that sound to you, Kwyn's requirements?
Kwyn, my dear sibling, I thank you for being so diligent in trying to find me a proper woman, but I didn't have a say in all the landmines you stepped on. So I'll politely ask you to take a step back and let me work this out.
Okay. All right, Cameron. I think this is something we can work with. But just to give folks an idea, how old are you, Cameron?
I'm 30 years old.
And what do you do?
So I'm a playwright, and I'm an actor and producer and director.
Okay. And where do you see yourself going in the near future?
I'm pursuing my MFA. I'm casting my bid to hopefully be admitted in fall of 2022. And my top choice is Juilliard.
Okay. All right. And so you are making money. You can take a girl out on a nice date.
I absolutely can.
Okay. All right. Yeah, and not just invite her to your house for some macaroni and cheese that your sister made in the oven, right?
Yeah. Funny thing about mac and cheese, I'm dairy free. So.
Oh. Oh.
Oh, as a brother told me, would you like to come by for some potted meat and saltines?
And you went.
Ain't into the potted meat.
And you went.
All right. So Cameron, we do have a wonderful young woman. Let me tell you a little bit about her. I was gonna say this. Okay. And I've already been corrected by our producer, who is going to be the advocate for our bachelorette, as your sister has been an advocate for you. So Yolanda Starks White, welcome to It's Sybil.
It's Sybil. We need they need miss. It's Sybil.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah,
So,
you gotta do it.
Cameron, this is your lucky day because you're going to have the wonderful opportunity to meet an amazing woman. Her name is Simone White. And to start out with, Kwyn, let's address you. She is African American.
Okay.
She not only knows words from Stevie Wonder and Earth, Wind, and Fire, Megan Thee Stallion, but she takes it back. She's a really, really big fan of Ella Fitzgerald and Miles Davis, and she has a breadth. I think she really loves Lil Wayne from when I was around her, and
the Lord.
And so before we get there, for her specialty at
Or he could
Christmas
discover himself.
is the macaroni and cheese. That's what she brings. I'm
Ding,
not
ding,
sure
ding.
about the sweet potato pie. She can tell us about that. She definitely,
Okay.
I've personally witnessed the braids and the twist. And she is Black and she cares about Black people. In addition to that, before Cameron, you had mentioned that you were thinking about going to Yale. Her father is a Yale law graduate. Her brother is the Yale of HBCU, Howard University Law School, and she also is a lawyer. She now practices in San Francisco, and she represents clients in cases of sexual abuse, employment, and mass torts.
You don't even have to meet her. Dude, Cameron, you don't have to meet her now. Now we can know what you're doing. Why bother with the whole meeting thing?
And the best part about it, she's my baby sister.
Wow, I had no idea what the white
White.
thing's going on.
Oh,
Yay!
He went straight for the mustache player. He went straight for the mustache. He's like, oh, did you see that? Did you check the move?
Simone, you are a very beautiful woman.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
It's an honor to meet you too. You're the kind of woman that automatically just makes me reevaluate my life choices and makes me know that I've got to do better. I automatically recognize your caliber of a woman, and I know when I'm sitting in the presence of royalty. So it's already an honor to meet you.
Wow, I don't think I've ever heard such an amazing introduction. Nice to meet you. And you sound really accomplished yourself. And I had the opportunity to be backstage and hear your sister speak, and I was very impressed with her. So I think we would get along.
I am formally introduced as Kwyn's older brother. So
nice.
I am happy to receive whatever kudos Kwyn also gets. Would it also help for you to know that I'm also very ripped as well?
Nice. I do like athletics, so check.
Cool. Great. I've got some questions that we can bounce back between the two of us. I know as a woman of law, you perhaps like to take the initiative, but would you care to share this dance with me?
Sure. Absolutely.
I watch Jeopardy often, and I always find myself thinking, if there was a Jeopardy category, what would it be that I would get every answer right in? And so I ask you, what's your area of expertise? What do you geek out about? What's your Jeopardy category that you get every answer right in?
My Jeopardy category would probably be hip hop.
Okay. What's the so on the Carter 3? What's the first track?
Ooh, the Carter 3 was a really good album. I can't remember the first track though.
A milli.
Okay, A Milli was the first track. I'm actually a really big fan of Lil Wayne mixtapes, like The Drought 3,
No Ceiling.
Ceilings.
No
Yeah.
Ceiling.
Yeah. Sorry for the wait.
Yeah. I would say that my area of expertise is probably Pokemon. I'm a gamer. I grew up absolutely loving Pokemon, and if there's any Pokemon question out there that was worth $1 million, I would just ask Alex to put the money right in my hand. What's a peculiar talent of yours? I'm a very talented whistler.
You're a talented whistler.
I am.
Yeah. A peculiar talent of mine. I would say that I enjoy singing, so I would say that's probably one of my low-key talents.
So I would probably say that there's some harmony between us already, if you get the drift.
Nice. Very on key.
So what is something that you absolutely enjoy?
I love kind of experimenting with like different cuisine. So I love to cook. And I not only like to cook, well, I grew up cooking soul food, but I started kind of like veering into different types of cuisine, like Asian cuisine, and African cuisine. And so in my free time, I like to try different recipes and kind of make it my own.
So I shouldn't have come into this hungry because I don't know if I find, I obviously find you very appetizing, but I also find your cooking ability very appetizing.
All right. Kwyn, before we lose you, Kwyn, come back, Kwyn, come back. Can we ask Kwyn if she has any questions for Simone or something?
Don't do that.
Take Stephen Hill out. Kwyn, do you have a question?
Yeah, Simone, I think you have an amazing smile. I think you're very nice. I just want to know, what's your zodiac sign? You said what?
Pisces.
Okay, that may work. Okay, that's
Myra?
all I need to know.
Myra, do you have a question? Do you have a question for Cameron or for Simone?
No. Pisces, you better get in there, bro. That's all I'm telling you.
As a Pisces woman, yes.
That's all I can say.
Stephen Hill, do you have anything to ask or add?
I would like to ask, is there anybody on this panel who was name checked in the Drought 3?
You brought it all the way back to the Drought 3, first of all.
He's always like that.
I entered hip hop a little late. My first love was Parliament Funkadelic. That's what my dad always.
I'm so sorry. That question was for Simone, but I'm just. Well.
Oh, okay. Who was name dropped in Drought 3?
Yeah. Anybody on this panel who was name dropped in the Drought 3?
Archie Bell and the Drells.
Go ahead, Stephen Hill. Tell us.
No, never mind. It's self-evident. Look, y'all two look lovely together. You two look lovely together.
I don't know why. Okay. All right. So let me ask you guys, what's an ideal first date for either one of you? I watch enough of these dating shows. I got questions. If you were a tree, what kind of no, I'm kidding. That's Barbara Walters.
And what's a relationship deal breaker too? What is the relationship deal breaker?
That was my next question. Thank you, Kwyn. Okay,
I want
ideal first date.
So I think I'm trying to hear what Simone has to say, so I can already choose whatever restaurant we're going to.
Okay, Simone.
Yeah, I feel like dinner and conversation is like a great start, somewhere where you could just vibe and get to know each other.
Yolanda's very happy with your answer, Simone. What's your favorite food? So where would you like to go?
Well, I can't find any good Mexican food here in the Bay.
And that's a good Texas girl. That's a good.
I know. I miss Tex-Mex. I say that they think it's blasphemy up here in California, but maybe a Mexican restaurant would be really great.
Okay, so we're running out of time. So Cameron, let me jump to Kwyn's question. What's a relationship breaker? What can you not put up with?
Simone.
Pushy sister-in-laws.
You say pushy, I say pushy, I say friendly.
Precise. Precise is what you. Yes.
Okay, Mr. Name Check. So Simone, what about you? And Cameron, I'd like you to answer that too.
I would say a relationship deal breaker for me would be dishonesty.
Cameron?
Agreed. Yeah, I would say any failure to communicate. Relationships are built on trust and radical transparency. It's just the fast track to radical love, and that's what I'm trying to build.
Okay, so in my day, it was like, I don't like a liar.
Transparency. No wonder I haven't had a relationship, because I'm all like, just want you lying. Once somebody say you lying, then we know it's over.
Okay, you guys have put it all out here in a very public forum. I want to thank you, first of all, for for trusting us and opening yourselves up like this very publicly. What we'd like to do is to put you two together, phone numbers, whatever, however you want to do this, old-fashioned way, phone, FaceTiming, whatever, but to put you two together and perhaps see where this can go from here. Okay? And because we're not going to put this on, not going to put you on Front Street. So Simone, what you think?
Yeah, go ahead, get him on my number.
That's what we're here for. You're not? I got popcorn over there. What are you talking about?
This is for Simone.
Okay, for Simone, we have someone. JoJo Jordan says, Stephen is the actual name drop. Thank you, JoJo. I thought we could get through the afternoon without Stephen Hill bragging about his name.
I had no idea.
Drop.
That's crazy.
Yeah, right. Okay.
She mentioned the drop 3. I didn't mention the drop 3.
This is not your dating game. Just so we're very clear.
So trust me, I'm clear. The only reason I'm clear on that is because of the text I got from Yolanda. Anyhow, keep going.
Stephen. Take Steve Hill out. Yes. Okay. Okay. All right, you guys, you crazy kids. We're gonna exchange numbers for you, and you guys take it from there. I wish you a lot of luck. I think you are two really incredible young people, and if you all can just say goodbye and see you around, or don't call me again.
Simone, I would like to actually earn the pleasure of getting your number, so. Perhaps if we just follow one another on social media, and we'll take it from there.
That's the way to do it. That's the way these crazy kids do it these days. Okay.
That's great.
Simone, thank you so much. Cameron, thank you, of course, for trusting us with this and allowing us to kind of invade on your first conversation space. I appreciate it. Stephen, we're asking you to bring on someone next week to play the little dating game with Cameron.
I'll consider doing just that.
Okay. Thank you all very much, and we will. Can you do oh yeah. Well, you know what? We tried to do this in another life, Roz, to do an older version.
Like I said. Would you like to come over for some saltines and some potted meat? This is what I get mixed up with.
And he'll put his teeth in. Okay. Right. Thanks, everybody. We really appreciate it. And Kwyn, thanks for introducing us to Cameron. And we will keep everybody up to date on this. Absolutely.
I'm not ready for my brother to be in a relationship.
Well, it's too late. You started it.
Wait, did you say you're not ready for your brother to be in a relationship?
Yes.
Yeah.
Girl, what the hell are you talking about? What?
I don't. We've been going through this for the last several weeks, darling.
I know.
Back
but I
away,
didn't know
back
she was
away,
gonna be
Kwyn.
that great.
Back
She was
away.
gonna be great.
When you ask for Yolanda Starks White to come up with something, that's how she represents. That's how
Back
she. That's how
away
she do it.
from the brother, Kwyn.
I think
Back
she's
away.
fantastic.
All right, so let us leave you with Yogi's Jewels, also fantastic. Today, you have the power to inspire others to greatness. Do it.
Yeah.
All right, go forward, everybody. See you later.
We're
We
not
didn't
breathing in.
breathe.
We're not breathing out. Breathing
We
out. We're
didn't
not breathing
breathe.
out.
We didn't breathe.
Breathe out.
David,